right, ladies and gentlemen. So as I always say, this rocket ship has left the building. And guess what, guys? Many of you have the best seats on this rocket ship. Reason being is we just got done with an event in Birmingham, United Kingdom. And we did some events out in Dublin, Ireland, also for the Privileged Car Club. And literally, guys, people were setting their hair on fire because they were so excited that they wanted people from miles around to watch them burn. That's right. When you get so fired up about a concept that literally you don't care how many people tell you no, because you know that there's hundreds of thousands of yeses out there. That's what the Privileged Car Club is. Now, part of your package, guys, every single month is being able to get trained for free by cryptocurrency experts. Now, when I say experts, guys, we've been in this industry since it first started, but we run global ICOs, initial coin offerings around the world, and our latest one has raised almost $500 million. It's called the Dragon Coin. So I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you. Every single week, you get to listen to people that are developing all the blockchain technology, all the exchanges, all the wallets for these companies around the world. And the reason why we want you to get so educated is because we want you to get in front of the curve. Unlike many companies that don't allow their people to get trained every week about very disruptive technologies, your CEO, Andy Wall, wants you to see the future because he himself is a visionary. My business partner, Raymond Fulmer, and my other business partner in New York, Dino Anestis, you know, we're big on blockchain, we're big on digital currency, but at the end of the day, what I want you to understand is you're able to see it from a developer's point of view, not just a speculator's point of view that's buying and selling digital currency. We're actually developing the technology for all these companies. So the reason why today is super exciting for me is because I get to show you why we are excited as developers. Also, guys, don't forget that in your handout section, if you go to the handout section, we have 2 trainings on Golem and Sia Coin, just so you can kind of see what we look at it as far as what makes a company very valuable, right? One of the things I always tell people when you're looking at different digital currency companies is you always want to see their GitHub, because a GitHub is a repository for smart contracts. So we get to go in there and review their smart contracts. We ask them to send us their white papers. We look and see what their C-level panel, like their C-level executives like CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, CTOs, you know, what's our background in digital currency, right? And for you, it's kind of special because Andy Wall, like, literally has us traveling all around the world to make sure that we can put together the absolute best teams to make sure that your P-Car coin is an absolute titan of an ICO in 2018. So that, for me, guys, that's super exciting. And for many of you that got to see me on stage, you see how excited I get on stage? I mean, that's just like when I talk about blockchain, I just can't keep that excitement in me because I feel like a little kid all over again. It's kind of like when you first got your first computer or your first bicycle ride, you had your first kiss, or you drove a car for the first time. That excitement level I feel for blockchain is the exact same way, guys. And all I want to do is infect you with the same knowledge that I have so that you can win massively just like we have over the last, 6 to 7 years. And the reason why I tell you this is because, there's not many people when we first got started that trained us on what blockchain technology was, what the value of a transition or a transactional coin, utility token, membership token was. So this is why we're excited to bring this information to you guys, because we want you to win massively for decades to come. But today is going to be a little bit higher level, because what I want you to understand is once you start getting the gist of what's happening in this digital currency world, then you yourself will start telling other people about not just the benefits of Privileged Car Club, but also all the things we acknowledged in the earlier session, talking about the Uber app for all our PCC members, right? That we're bringing an app similar to Uber inside of our PCC family. We're bringing a hypercar program within our PCC family. And for those of you that were not on the very first webinar, guys, the hypercar, basically, you're going to go after high net worth individuals in the future, and you're going to be able to give them the ability to be driving hypercars, anything from 100,000 pounds to 150,000 pounds in the very near future. Now, the reason why we do that, guys, is because we know that every single day, every single week, you're going out speaking to all kinds of different people, right? Some of these people might be bankers, they might be, securities type people, and they're already driving really nice cars, right? But we're going to give you the ability to close those people in 2018 and beyond. And the reason why is because obviously, look, Andy and the entire team are working very hard to give you the best benefits globally, guys. So for us, it's a pleasure. It literally is a plum-pleasing pleasure to be working with a CEO so forward thinking, such a visionary in this field. And obviously Chris Buckley and Prem, like these guys are phenomenal at what they do, guys. So thank you very much to all the people I just acknowledged, because without them, this company would not be possible. So moving forward, what we're going to do first, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to just mention everybody that's on this webinar. So when you share this with people, they can hear your names, right? And once they hear your names, it solidifies that you're a leader in the company, because leaders take time out of their busy days to learn, because the more you learn, the more you're going to strengthen you in your job. But at the end of the day, they're never going to work times which you're used to last webinar. Thank you, Adrian. I got Mr. Anthony McCormick. Anthony's a staple of these trainings, guys. He's always on these trainings. Carol Brotherson, Charles Griffin. I used him as an example in the previous webinar. Christopher Buckley, my brother from another mother. What's up, brother? Chuck Wilson, Colin Morris, Devin McKenzie, Edmund McGeehan, Faya Ira, Gary Booth, Gary Genovese. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Ingram Law, Jane Flassohaven, Jonathan Smelko, my other brother, Kieran Powell, Linda Galloway, Lok Chang, Major Hinton, Philippa Gittins, Big Ray Fulmer, Roland Roberts, Tony Hawken, and Vince Whittle. Guys, it's people like you that are going to take your income to an entirely different level. What I mean by that is it takes sacrifice, guys, to learn how disruptive technology works. And at the end of the day, if you're learning about this before there's an explosion, in baseball terms, for those of you who know the American sport baseball, there's 9 innings, right? So what I tell people is we're basically in the top of the first inning. And when I say top of the first inning, like it's phase 1, guys. Like people ask me, hey, Max, is it too late? Because they say, many people know my backstory. You know, I own technology companies. I've been in business over 20 years. But what I tell them is, you know, I got started late in this party because I read the white paper 2008, 2009. It was more of Bitcoin was a novelty, guys. Like literally nobody was accepting it as a payment solution. But then when they really started accepting it around 2012, my sister and I, we have a financial services company. We started getting into Bitcoin because we started seeing Bitcoin go from $2 to $62, you know, from $50 to $300. So once we saw that volatility, we knew we could make money within Bitcoin. And it's like I told everybody at the event in the United Kingdom, without volatility, you can't make money. That goes for securities, precious metals, real estate, and cryptocurrency, guys. So yeah, Carol, so sorry. There's going to be a little bit of distortion in my voice, guys, because I'm on Galveston Island, and there's a storm that's hitting us right now. So you're going to hear a little bit of distortion, but you're going to get the gist of the story. When I'm back in Dallas, I'm plugged into a T1 connection, so this doesn't happen. So excuse the fact that I'm traveling, watching my brother do an Ironman, half Ironman here in Galveston Island. So guys, one of the most beautiful things that you're going to do is you're going to change the world with your knowledge and your passion. And don't ever let anybody steal your dreams, because at the end of the day, you deserve to have a comeback story. And what I mean by that is there's so many people that are struggling just to make ends meet, and you have the ability with the Privileged Car Club to change hundreds of millions of lives around the world. So that's pretty exciting. But before we get started, guys, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a quick market cap roundup, because I want you to see what's going on in the world of digital currency. Now, and let me just, before I, all the new people that just got on here, can everybody see the screen and hear my voice? You should be able to see like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. And let me just make sure before we get started, everybody can see the screen. Yes, Gary. Yes, Carol. Thank you, guys. All right, perfect. Here, let me just get this out of the way. Boom, done. And then let's go. So I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind, guys. You see this number up here on your screen? Right now around the world, there's over 1,560 digital currencies being bought and sold around the world. The market cap is $263 billion. Again, people are talking about digital currency not being a detriment to, you know, banking, right? But think about it. Forex is a $5.2 trillion a day industry. Bitcoin alone, I'm not even talking about the Privileged Car Club, I'm just talking about Bitcoin alone, one day would be a $1 trillion a day industry. That's how crazy this market's going to get. So when I tell you that this is phase 1, that is a complete understatement. 24-hour volume, $9.7 billion. And if you look at the BTC, Bitcoin dominance, that's 45.2%. Now, as more and more alternative coins come into the market that actually have a value proposition, this BTC dominance will go down to 30%, 20%, 10%, in the very near future 3%, because there's going to be so many other disruptive technologies. But I'm going to teach you a little more about Bitcoin, because what I want you to see is I want you to see the value in what is happening right now. And let me just go with market cap, all right, guys. So on your screen, you see Bitcoin, which is the alpha. Like, this is the granddaddy that started everything. Bitcoin is based on mathematics, guys. So when people are like freaking out about Bitcoin, they forget that it's just a function of blockchain technology. Blockchain is the second internet, right? It's basically the internet of money. The first internet, when we were kids in the 90s, in the 2000s, that was the internet of information. So you had email, which was a function of the internet back in the day when we first got started, and Bitcoin is just one little function of blockchain technology. We're excited about blockchain, guys, because it's going to change everything from real estate, precious metals, securities, DNA, the medical field. Like, the way you can use blockchain is unfathomable. And so many people are so focused on Bitcoin, but I tell them that's just a little function of blockchain, guys. And so Bitcoin started this whole party. Look at their market cap, $118 billion, being bought and sold at $7,004.25. Look at all this green, guys. The bulls are running today. Like, literally, we're trying to bust out of this bear market. So today's been a really good day for all digital currency. Now, at number 2, we have Ethereum. Ethereum is what we're gonna build a privileged car club coin on top of the Ethereum platform, guys. Now, it's an ERC20 or 223 protocol, and the beautiful part about Ethereum, guys, is they allow you to build decentralized applications on top of their smart contract blockchain. And they're at a $38.4 billion market cap. Now, guys, Ethereum got to that market cap way faster than Bitcoin, because literally they're changing the world with their smart contract technology, being bought and sold at $389.41. Now, their coin is called Ether. That way you can understand the name of Ethereum's token. And when we look at Ripple at number 3, guys, Ripple is kind of unique, because for the very first time in history, you get to make money off the backs of banks. Like their XRP token is being used for remittance, and remittance is just a fancy word for sending money, right? And so many of us that are on this webinar right now have sent money to a loved one in another country, whether we use a bank, whether we use MoneyGram, Western Union. Remittance is a huge business. Something like $770 billion are spent, or sent as far as remittance. And as you know, guys, banks aren't cheap, right? Banks will squeeze you for every single dollar they can. So Ripple is going to make that way cheaper, way faster, way more efficient, and way more secure. So that XRP token, or Ripple in general, right now they have a $19.2 billion market cap, and they're only being bought and sold at 49.3 cents. So we don't really give trading advice, guys, because these are unregulated, unregistered securities. But this entry point for Ripple is phenomenal if you know that banks are going to use it for remittance, commercial banks, right? Credit Suisse, Barclays, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, et cetera, et cetera. So what I tell people is, we just educate you so you can make educated decisions. We ask you to still speak with your financial advisor or anybody that's well-versed in blockchain, because we want you to win massively. But again, we can't give you trading advice because these are unregulated. But we can give you as much information as possible so that you can go out and say, you know what, Max, I made a very educated decision, and over the last 2 to 5 years, I made a ton of money. At number 4, we got Bitcoin Cash, a transactional coin from Roger Ver. Similar to what Litecoin is doing, guys, and Stellar, Bitcoin Cash is a transactional token. $11.1 billion in market cap, being bought and sold at $651.76. Now, Roger Ver and many of the players obviously are doing a great job with Bitcoin Cash. And what we tell people is we want them to win, because all digital currencies, when they win, we all win. So just like the Privileged Car Club coin in the future, we're going to have our own ecosystem. We're going to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of members globally. And so the buy pressure that's going to be put on our PCAR coin is going to be through the roof, guys. So for those of you that are going to partake in the private pre-sale as members, because you have to be a member in order to take part of that first private pre-sale. ICOs normally work in 3 different phases, guys. You got the private pre-sale, you got the pre-ICO, then you have the ICO. And everybody that's on this webinar has the ability to purchase their PCAR coins in the private pre-sale, which is the cheapest valuation that you can get them at, guys. So we always tell people, timing is to business as location is to real estate. So make sure that you take advantage of that timing. At number 5, one of my absolute favorite coins in the entire universe, we got Litecoin, my homeboy Charlie Lee. Guys, these guys are phenomenal as far as development. They're working on something called the Lightning Network to help with congestion across all digital currencies. They're working on cross-chain atomic swaps, which basically in the future mean that we won't have a need for centralized exchanges, a trustless system where, let me use a name that, because I love giving people shout outs. Let me use Ryan Kitson. So let's say that Ryan Kitson, right, and I are partaking in the cross-chain atomic swap. Atomic just means all or none in computer language. But let's say that Ryan had 5 Bitcoin and I wanted to exchange 5,000 Litecoin, right? As long as the parameters met within our smart contract, and let's say that I knew Ryan's answer to a security question, we wouldn't have to trust each other. As long as those parameters met, they would automatically swap into our own digital wallets. And that's something we're going to work on for the Privileged Card Club in the future. That way, globally, people can exchange, PCAR coin for Bitcoin, PCAR coin for Litecoin, Ripple, you name it. I mean, we're working on some phenomenal technology, guys. And you're going to be able to take advantage of it. Your kids will be able to take advantage of it. I mean, many of your kids already have Bitcoin wallets. If they're on like the Xbox network for Microsoft, many kids are paying for their games with Bitcoin. It's crazy. So that's something we're working on. But this is why I tell people at $6.5 billion in market cap and $117.74, one of the most undervalued tokens in the entire universe. And the only reason I say that, guys, is because we're developing a lot of layers on top of their protocol. Now, number 6, we have EOS. EOS is another platform where many developers are gonna go in and build decentralized applications. $4.6 billion in market cap, being bought and sold at $5.96. Cardano, another platform where you can build some magic, guys. Their development team is so phenomenal. It's very scientific in nature. And in the future, what's going to happen, their marketing team is phenomenal. So that's why they've risen to $3.8 billion in market cap so fast, being bought and sold at 14.9 cents. Now, again, if you want to be really, really careful with your money, like let's say if you were making 1% on let's say that you were making 1% on a savings account, right? Or like 3 to 6% on annuity. Obviously people know that on Ethereum, on EOS, Cardano, Neo, Lisk, Waves, these are all platforms where in the future people will have to develop decentralized applications, right? So many of the people that put money into like mutual funds that are safe, that make anywhere from 6.6 to 15%, when they ask me what's the safest place to be, I tell them at the very beginning we put a lot of money into platform-based tokens because we knew that many people globally would have to build on top of them. So when I talk about Ethereum, when I talk about EOS, Cardano, Neo, Lisk, Waves, those are very, very safe platforms, guys, because a lot of development has to go on those layers. Now, there's a lot of high-risk, high-reward coins, right? And you don't have to, I tell people, you don't have to take a big risk in digital currency. You just have to know where, there's actual platforms that are going to be around for decades, right? And again, we're not clairvoyant, we don't know, but after meeting with many of these companies in person and seeing their GitHub, their white papers, their cPanels, that's why we give people this education so they can know what we know. Now, number 8, we have Cardano. Number 8, we have Stellar. Stellar is a transactional coin, similar to Litecoin, similar to Bitcoin Cash. Stellar has a gentleman that just broke off from Ripple, and they're at $3.7 billion in market cap, 20.4 cents per Stellar token. Guys, they do about 6,000 to 10,000 TPS, and TPS just stands for transactions per second. Now, the Visa network does about 40 to 50,000 TPS, and when Lightning Network comes out, and when Raiden comes out, the Raiden protocol for Ethereum comes out, they'll be vying to not only be as fast as Visa and MasterCard, but ultimately all these programmers are trying to crush Visa and MasterCard. That's why Stellar is such an amazing protocol, because they continue to push the bar up as far as transactions per second. Now, at number 9, we have Neo, and Neo is the Chinese Ethereum, guys. Basically right now, many people know that China tried to absolutely crush Bitcoin, but they did not. They had no success, right? They tried to ban mining, they tried to ban ICOs, and now they're rewriting a lot of their laws and statutes because they see that many of their people have moved over to Japan, right? Many of their people have moved over to Malta. And because of that, they've lost hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars in not just assets, but mental currency, because some of the best minds have left China to go to these other countries. But they're at a $3 billion market cap being bought and sold at $47.24. Now, one of the things I will tell you guys, look at this. If Ethereum is at $389.41 and NEO is at $47.24, if you know that at the end of the day, the Chinese are going to pump this, right? They literally want their citizens to be putting money into NEO, not Ethereum. It's safe to say that that's a pretty good entry point, right? Because, I mean, just logically, if they're one of the only companies that are still standing after the dust settles, that's probably a good company to look into, just so you know. I mean, that's what we're looking into. Now, at number 10, to round up the top 10 for today, guys, we have IOTA. The Internet of Things, or as many of you know it, IoT. Probably the majority of you right now have a smartphone or like a smart tablet, right? Smart garage, a smart watch, a smart coffee maker. In the future, guys, by 2020, there'll be billions upon billions of smart devices all around the world. And IOTA's they're gonna basically connect many of those IoT devices. Now, right now, they're at $2.8 billion in market cap and being bought and sold at $1.01. But remember, as we get closer to 2020, more and more homes are doing what? Being automated. When I was in the United Kingdom, when you walked into, just an example, when you walked into your room, it has a smart thermostat. So you can set that smart thermostat from an app on a phone, on a computer. And I thought that was pretty phenomenal, guys, because they're saving money on electricity. And I think that's a thing, because literally we need to. Okay. Let me just make sure everybody can hear before I get started. Connecting to audio. All right, guys. So in the chat, let me just I just connected through my mobile device, because we literally are getting pounded by like crazy winds right now. Can everybody hear me? Somebody hit me up on the chat. Let me know that you can hear my voice. Everybody. Let me go to audio. Yeah, Mike, you can hear me? Oh, awesome. Sweet.
And we're back. All right, cool. So, all right, guys. So now that you can hear me, I'm on the phone now because obviously our internet connection is getting a little bit disruptive. And Deborah can hear me even better. All right, guys. So now that I know that everybody can hear me, we'll jump back into this. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm traveling right now, but I wanted to make sure that we could do a training today because we are so excited after coming from this event. I didn't want to lose that excitement. And I want you to understand why we're so excited. So Peter Ryan, good to see you all the way from Australia, my brother. Mike Hilton, thank you, bro. Colin Morris, perfect. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you a couple things right now, guys, that are going to blow your mind. So I get so many people that say, well, Max, Bitcoin's a bubble, just like the technology bubble and blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, guys, do you really understand the technology that underpins Bitcoin? Do you understand? It says you're gone again. It shouldn't be. I'm on the phone. Can everybody else hear me, guys? Because Ray said I'm gone. You are connected. It says I'm connected. Well, I think that was Ray, not me. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I think Ray lost me. I think that was his. So what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, is so many people, just like they tell you the same thing about digital currency is a demon, right? Like Jamie Dimon from Chase, the vice president from Chase Manhattan Bank. He went and told the masses, the world, he said, you know what? Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin is a scam. It won't be around. And the only reason banks do that, guys, is so that they can create fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then you know what Chase did behind everybody's backs? They went in and bought billions upon billions of dollars of Bitcoin. They bought billions upon billions of dollars of other alternative currencies. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because they don't even understand blockchain technology, but they just put 22 patents out on blockchain because they know that that's what really is the future is blockchain, not Bitcoin. But what I'm trying to tell you is never, ever listen to a banker because they only create fear so that they can make money. And they'll never teach you how they make money, right? But now you have people like myself, Raymond Fulmer, Dino and Estes that you met in the United Kingdom. We teach the masses because we made a lot of money off digital currency. But we want everybody else to benefit just like we have. And so when people tell me that they listen to their banker, I'm like, well, what do they know about blockchain technology? What do they know about development as far as decentralized apps? They're like, well, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they know anything. I go, the only thing banks know how to do is screw people over. I mean, basically, that's what they did when Bitcoin was going up to 6,000, then it was dumping all the way to $3,000, and they start buying it up like crazy. So if you look at your screen, guys, I'm going to show you something about George Soros real quick. Is there anybody here that knows who George Soros is before I start talking about George Soros? Does anybody know what George Soros does for a living? Let me see if anybody knows. Yes, Linda? So you know that George, excuse me, Linda, you know that George Soros is a big-time investor, right? Like he literally makes a ton of money off of investing, shorting things. Deborah Johnson, no? Well, you're going to learn right now, girl. I'm going to teach you about Mr. Soros. Because if Mr. Soros is getting into Bitcoin and digital currency in general, you know it's going to be around the long term. And the reason why I'm telling you all this today, guys, is so that I can strengthen your mind on why the Privileged Car Club coin is going to be so phenomenal and be around for decades. Because you have to talk about history, right? We can't talk about digital currency without Bitcoin and blockchain because it started all. But I'm going to read to you real quick this article because when I read it, it blew my mind. Now, it was April 6th. It was yesterday. So this is why I wanted to share this with you today. It says, George Soros prepares to trade cryptocurrencies. I saw that and I got goosebumps because when people ask me, how do you know? I'm like, how are you going to argue with George Soros, one of the wealthiest individuals in the entire world? So now it says, the family office is said to have recently approved trading. Soros called the digital assets a bubble in January, just like Jamie Dimon did, right? But they're getting into trading it because they're not rookies and they're not stupid. It says George Soros called cryptocurrency a bubble in January. Now his $26 billion family office is planning to trade digital assets. Guys, I said billion, not million. 26 billion. It says Adam Fisher, who oversees macro investing in New York-based Soros Fund Management, got an internal approval to trade virtual coins in the last few months. Though he has yet to make a wager, according to people familiar with the matter, a spokesman declined to comment. Now it says, Soros, speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, said digital coins cannot function as actual currencies because of their volatility. But he didn't predict the hard tumble that some observers had forecast at the time. As long as you have dictatorships on the rise, you will have a different ending because the rulers in those countries will turn to Bitcoin to build a nest egg abroad. Soros 87 said on January 25th. Now, if you look at this wild ride, guys, the ups and downs of Bitcoin investing, I mean, look at just June 2017. Look at this parabolic move, guys. This is when it went to 21.5. And then this is where Soros called Bitcoin a bubble, right? So ultimately, he calls it a bubble. And it's right now it's trading at 7,000 for Bitcoin, just like you saw. But at the time of this article, it's 65.98. So the beauty is, it says, since the billionaire investor made his comments, Bitcoin has fallen 41%. The assets whipsaw ride over the past 6 months has caused some investors to doubt the value of trading it. Former hedge fund manager Mike Novogratz shelved plans to launch a crypto fund in December, shifting his efforts to a merchant bank focused on cryptocurrencies and ventures based on related technologies. So that's another billionaire right there, guys, Mike Novogratz, and he's getting big into cryptocurrency. So it says other macro managers have turned to digital coins as profits from their hedge funds dwindle. John Burbank, who shuttered his main fund last year, plans to raise $150 million for two funds investing in digital currencies. His Passport Capital started the funds in January and have mostly sought investments from family offices and other wealthy investors. Billionaire Alan Howard made sizable personal wagers, separate from his firm, in cryptocurrencies last year and plans to put more of his own money into digital assets and the blockchain technology behind them. Again, guys, these guys are starting to get well versed in blockchain, right? It says Soros has already been indirectly betting on crypto. The firm amassed a stake in Overstock.com in the fourth quarter, making it the third biggest shareholder of the discount e-commerce company. In August 2017, it became the first major retailer to accept digital currencies. Now, the company had also planned to start an exchange for cryptocurrencies, as well as offer digital coins that could trade on the platform. In March, Overstock.com disclosed that the Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating its proposed ICO. Shares have sunk about 40% in the wake of disclosure because, again, guys, there's a lot of fear, right? Investors in digital assets also face the growing possibility of government intervention. Central banks globally are investigating the benefits and risks of cryptocurrencies, while regulators in South Korea, one of the world's busiest Bitcoin markets, are cracking down on such trade amid allegations of fraud. So you see, guys, at the end of the day, when we're talking about billionaires, I mean, literally billionaires, right? Here's another article that talks about the hedge fund titan George Soros against cryptocurrency. I already read one to you on that. But when people that make this kind of money are getting into digital currencies, that should show you something, right? That should show you that the wealthy stay wealthy because they get in front of trends, not because they're scared, not because they don't see Bitcoin or digital currencies or blockchain technology being the future, but they see a entry level where they can get in and make a ton of money. So this is why you getting educated on the digital currency side. This is why Andy decided that, hey, we need to educate our members on how they can take advantage of the Privilege Car Club coin here in 2018. And they need to have a foundation of knowledge, right, guys? Because look, nobody is born a cryptocurrency expert. Nobody is born a securities expert. Nobody is born a precious metals expert or real estate expert. But guess what? Those people learn, they fall on their face a couple of times, and then they go smash it in the marketplace, guys. But here's another article that I want to show you that literally, and remember when we're looking at Bitcoin, it was at 7,000. Now it's at 7,024. So you see there's a good amount of volatility. And look at Ether from 389 to 392, and Bitcoin Cash is at 654, Zcash 185, and then Monero's at 173. So guys, there's a lot of coins that are obviously there's a lot of green today. So today's a good day for crypto. But here's something that I want you to really realize, guys. Crypto exchange Coinbase in talks to become an SEC licensed brokerage. Talk about the Google of cryptocurrency if that happens, guys. It says Coinbase in talks with SEC to become a licensed brokerage firm. That is powerful, guys. Valued at $1.6 billion, Coinbase seemingly has ambitions of becoming the Google of cryptocurrency. Now, the reason why this is so powerful, guys, is because Coinbase is fully compliant as far as KYC, which is Know Your Client, and AML, anti-money laundering, just as the Privileged Car Club coin will also be. We also will be KYC compliant and AML compliant, right? But check this out. Coinbase has reportedly approached the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, and other regulators in order to obtain registration as a brokerage firm. While the company has declined to comment at this time, being a broker is set to offer Coinbase a commanding position. Currently valued at $1.6 billion, Coinbase is a giant in the cryptocurrency world. With its success, it's looking for new realms to expand into, with the recent controversy surrounding initial coin offerings, ICOs, being one of the areas. The SEC has been acting against illicit activities of exchanges and ICOs operating within the country. It is actively protecting investors by monitoring not-so-honest ICO operators. Now, guys, there's a ton of pump and dumps out there, right? A bunch of companies that don't even have one person on their C panel. When I say C panel, I mean like CEO, CFO, COO, CTO, and they're raising millions of dollars, right? I mean, they got a freaking WordPress site. It looked like a little 11-year-old put their site up, but they're raising crazy amounts of money. This is why we're educating you so you don't fall for those pump and dumps. So Coinbase, greater security in securities. The company is seemingly gearing up to become a Google-like titan when it comes to cryptocurrencies, with its establishment as a brokerage firm being a strong step in the right direction. While the talks have begun, the SEC's uncertainty over digital tokens means that they aren't entirely validated as securities. The legislation that assesses companies, however, provides pause for concern for any crypto-based company. The Howey test, set up in 1946, places stringent guidelines on companies to validate them as brokers. So the Howey test, guys, basically, if you're paying out dividends, right, or doing airdrops, you fail the Howey test. So it is an investment of money. There is an exception of profits from the investment. The investment of money is a common enterprise. Any profit comes from the efforts of a promoter or third party, right? So it says Coinbase provides its own form of vetting for coins made tradable on its platform, meaning that only cryptos that have demonstrated a longer-term level of stability are listed. As a result, the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash are the only listed. And as stability improves for altcoins, Coinbase will undoubtedly expand into offering new tokens. Now it says, SEC Chairman Jay Clayton has in the past revealed that most tokens issued in ICOs are considered securities, which means they can only be legally traded on a licensed exchange. Being licensed would put Coinbase one step ahead of other cryptocurrency exchanges and wallet providers. It says, Coinbase is also seeking to drive forward innovation as it considers creating funding for new startups within the field. Recently, the company announced it will allow its users to withdraw funds from Bitcoin forks. So that is pretty damn cool, guys. Obviously, this is one of the main reasons why everybody is excited about Coinbase. And let me just make sure that we have sound because we're, let's see, connecting to audio. We're waiting. Connecting. Connect. Let's go. Yep. I went out again. I'm waiting for a connection. Here we go. Let's connect. Are we back? Connecting. Waiting for that connection. Got to get that connection. Come on, baby. Let's connect. Here we go. Good vibes. Connecting. Let me know when we're back. Attendees. Audio. Let me know when I'm back. Hold on. Let's see. It's working? Perfect. So Ray can hear me? Here we go. We're back. It was a good vibes, huh? Yes. Sweet. All right, here we go. So to finish off the training for today, guys, the reason why I'm showing you all of this is what we look at, and this is why we're so excited about talking to governments. We will be flying back the 17th of this month to talk with the Irish government about making Ireland crypto friendly, just like Spain is trying to do right now, just like Malta, the Isle of Man, Gibraltar, Latvia, Estonia, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico. Guys, we're going to make Ireland the absolute king of ICOs in the future. So don't forget that the 17th, I guess that means we'll be there. The 18th, we'll be in Ireland talking to the Irish government. So we'll probably do some more events for the Privileged Car Club also while we're there. So get all your people fired up, all your people that are in Scotland, Ireland, and we invite all the people from the UK. Don't forget that we will be there the 17th, 18th, 19th, and I think I fly back the 20th to the States. But before we finish this training, I want you to see something that is very powerful. It says, the SEC considers rule change to allow Bitcoin ETFs. So this was April 6th, guys, yesterday. It says the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is considering a rule change that may allow Bitcoin ETFs to be listed on exchanges. According to a document posted on the SEC website, the agency has begun the process to approve or disapprove a change in its rules that allows 2 Bitcoin ETFs to be listed on the NYSE ARCA exchange. The 2 ETFs are PropShare Bitcoin ETFs and ProShares Bitcoin ETFs and ProShares Short Bitcoin ETFs. Both proposed ETFs track Bitcoin future contracts on the CBOE and the CME. The latter ETF provides returns equal to the inverse of daily performance of Bitcoin futures. And let me just keep going down. And it says the introduction of Bitcoin ETFs could add further liquidity to Bitcoin markets by providing another venue for investors, institutional and individual, to bet on the cryptocurrency. Currently, Bitcoin-based ETFs trade on OTC markets and have reaped spectacular returns in the last year. However, those numbers are marred by the volatility of underlying and unregulated exchanges that they track. A regulated Bitcoin ETF could help tamp down the premiums and wild swings in prices by instituting controls and rules on their movement and requiring self-certification. Now it says, Bitcoin ETFs, a long road. The possibility of Bitcoin-based ETFs was first suggested by the Winklevoss twins. And for those of you guys that don't know who the Winklevoss twins, I'm pretty sure everybody does. Mark Zuckerberg went to college with the Winklevoss twins, and they were at Harvard, and they claimed that Mark Zuckerberg stole the Facebook idea from him, and Zuckerberg had to pay them a few $1 billion, like literally it was something ridiculous, or millions. I can't remember exactly the amount, but it was something crazy. And it says their application was rejected. Since then, applications filed by other firms have met with a similar response. The SEC published a letter this January detailing its concerns. Those concerns span a broad range of issues from custody problems due to Bitcoin's digital provenance to arbitrage issues stemming from the absence of liquidity in Bitcoin markets. Now, the federal agency is not the only one worried about these issues. In a note earlier this year, Goldman Sachs said Bitcoin was much better suited as a crypto commodity rather than a cryptocurrency. With no large institution operating across exchanges, there's likely an insufficient scale of arbitrage, the firm wrote in its note. But guys, don't forget that Goldman Sachs has a subsidiary that just bought Poloniex, which is a huge cryptocurrency secondary market. So just to show you how the big boys play, right? They say one thing and do another. So it says, but the introduction of Bitcoin futures at CBO and CME last year has provided momentum to the movement again. Proposals in the new crop of ETFs aim to track Bitcoin futures, which are regulated by the CFTC, instead of prices at cryptocurrency exchanges. The Winklevoss twins' recent proposal to create a self-regulatory organization for cryptocurrency exchanges may also further ally the SEC's concerns regarding unregulated exchanges. Now, investing in cryptocurrencies and other initial coin offerings, or ICOs, is highly risky and speculative, and this article is not a recommendation by Investopedia or the writer to invest in cryptocurrencies or other ICOs. Since each individual situation is unique, a qualified professional should always be consulted before making any financial decisions. That kind of sounds like me, right, guys? When I tell you, hey, go do your due diligence. It says Investopedia makes no representation or warranties as to the accuracy of or timelines of the information contained herein, and as of the date of this article was written, the author owns 0.01 Bitcoin. Lies. He probably owns way more than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the main reasons why we are so excited about digital currency. I mean, at the end of the day, what I'm going to tell you is that you're seeing an absolute gold rush occurring beneath people's noses, and they don't even know. Like when I tell you that Bitcoin will be around for decades, Litecoin, Ripple, Ethereum, these are all my opinions, right? But because we get to see their technology, up front, and we get to develop on their layers, I mean, some of this stuff is changing the world already, guys. And when we talk about the Privileged Car Club, we are so excited. We're beaming with energy. And for those of you that got to see me on stage, you know, what you see on stage is literally what I live, breathe, and eat every day, guys. I don't have a script. I go up and I just talk from the heart because I've literally done thousands of trainings. You can ask my business partner, Raymond Fulmer or Dina Nestis. I literally train people all around the world because I want them to benefit from what is happening, because I know the governments and banks aren't going to teach the masses, but we are willing to do that, right? So that being said, guys, we thank you very much. Get ready for the Privileged Car Club coin that's going to be coming out in 2018. It's going to allow you the ability to share this concept globally. Even if people are free members, guys, and they want discounts on their concert tickets in the future, rental properties, hotel stays, car rentals, the list goes on and on. There's so many things that we're packaging for you as we speak. And many of those people globally that are even free members, because we're not in the countries yet, will be able to take advantage of that with the Privileged Car Club coin. So that being said, guys, we love you all. We thank you for spending some quality time on this webinar. And remember, the more you learn, the more you earn, right? Because at the end of the day, those people that aren't taking time out of their Saturday evenings, Saturday afternoons, or Saturday mornings to learn like you are not going to be in the same place of knowledge, not going to be in the same place of excitement, guys. You should be so excited right now, because at the end of the day, there's hundreds of millions of people out there that don't even have a clue what Bitcoin or blockchain technology is. They don't have a clue what the Privileged Car Club is and the power that's coming. People helping people, guys. So that being said, we love you all, guys. We hope to see you again next Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 9 p.m. UK and Ireland and Scotland time, guys. And don't forget that every Saturday, every single Saturday, we do a Privileged Car Club live webinar. And make sure that you get on those webinars, guys, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is you're going to win massively in 2018. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. And if you have any suggestions or if you have any questions, guys, make sure that you ask us on these webinars, or make sure that you email us or hit us up on WhatsApp. I'm on LinkedIn as Max Garza 3. I'm on Facebook as Max Garza 3. On Telegram, I'm at BTC Archangel. That's BTC ARCHANGEL. And obviously on WhatsApp, you can add my mobile number 1-214-770-9699. We'll try and get back to your questions, concerns as fast as possible, guys. If we don't, be certain that we will, because we want you to win massively in 2018. So yes, sir. Yes, Gary. Same time next week, brother. Same time. And thank you, Gary. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, Peter, we'll get that out to you. PowerPoint for sure, bro. Philippa Giddens, thank you. And, once again, guys, thank you, because at the end of the day, these phenomenal disruptive technologies that we're all working with right now, they would not go anywhere without you, without your blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice. So give yourselves a round of applause. Buy yourself a beer, a glass of champagne for you ladies. Make sure that your husbands buy you massages, ladies, because of the ladies that are on this webinar, their husbands are probably going to be very wealthy here over the next couple of decades. So, guys, we love you all. We'll see you next week. This webinar is now adjourned.